Hello, I'm Admiral McFish, and this is a tutorial on how to hack and play as Dural in the PS2 version of Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. Please note that this is in regards to emulating Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution, whether that is via a PS2 emulator or via Demule, one of the Naomi emulators. It's not in regards to doing it on the console, just so you're aware. As always, if you haven't seen the very first video I did on the basics of boss hacking, I'd recommend giving that a watch before viewing this. It'll just give you a bit more of an understanding as to what it is we do here, and you might be a bit confused otherwise. For this, you're going to need three things. You're going to need your emulator of choice open. I use PCSX2 for PS2 games. You will need a hacking program such as ArtMoney, and when you do, make sure to have the actual process that you're going to hack open in this select process thing here. Make sure to select it. You'll also need the character values for this game, but don't worry about those. I will provide those in the description. So, very weird. Evolution is a mess to use compared to vanilla Virtua Fighter 4. It's very easy to make the game crash when trying to hack for the values, and you can often create glitch characters instead of finding Dural, which is kind of hilarious, but not exactly what we want. So I'll try and take it through with you step by step, but this is definitely going to be rockier compared to most games. Let's go into training first of all. Let's pick Shun to start with. Right, and we will now initially search for our values. With this address range thing, make sure to change it to all. Despite the fact that it's put on emulator, it doesn't work if it's on emulator, so I have no clue why it's there. So we search for our initial value, and Shun is 3 as you can see, so we'll search for 3. Then we'll go back to the character selection menu. And we'll go for Jeffrey next. Jeffrey is value 4, so we will filter this time for 4. And we will filter for all subsequent values, because it just means that we're slowly narrowing down the character addresses we need to use. Let's go for Sarah next. And Sarah is value 01, so we will filter for 1. Don't be afraid to do it just a few times. It just helps to narrow it down that bit more, basically. Let's see, let's do Lau, I think. I recommend swapping kind of back and forth between values. You can just do it in chronological order if you want to, but you'll find it quicker if you kind of change up your values a bit more. Right, so that was 2, so we'll filter this time for 2. That's a good sign. Let's do it just once more, I think. Because I've seen it go down even lower on some occasions, and that just helps out. Pi is 5, so we'll pick Pi. Right, and Pi is 5, so we'll filter for value 5. Okay, not going to get any better than that, apparently. Okay. Let's go back to the character selection menu, I think. Any ones with, like, jarringly big values you want to sort of delete. So these ones here, this one here at least, won't do anything, I don't think. If I recall correctly, I think if it was the same as last time, it's value 2, 3, and 4, and then 6, 7, 8. So you want to just type 13 into all of these, and then click this box next to them. This will force the game to load the value in question. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Yep, there's Dural. And interestingly, she is not locked to her stage in training mode, which is quite interesting. So basically, I had to have a fiddle around with this game again, because I'd actually forgotten how you hacked it. And it seems to be the case that if you do the method that I've used, when you pull these in, the ones you need to do are always going to be value 2, 3, and 4, 6, 7, and 8. Not 5, that's a bit of a dodgy value. And everything afterwards seems to be dodgy and have the potential to crash the game as well, from what I found. It's not as precise as I'd like it to be, unfortunately, but if you follow this method, it will work, and I think at the end of the day, that's what matters. Just to show you for a second here, you also can't actually select Dural, so like I'm pressing the button to try and select her, it won't work. If you click to the side though, it will select Akira but still load Dural because we're forcing it to load that value. It's very weird. It's the exact same for 10th anniversary as well, which I'll show in that video. And yeah, it's weird that the programming here is actually weirder and more batshit than the vanilla version. Like, what happened? Was it moving to a different form of Naomi or something? I'm just not sure. But yeah, not as precise as I'd like it to be, but if you follow my method, it will work out. Basically put, there should be a separation between the values you have to select, and if you do that, then you should find it. It might be something you have to fiddle around with. If the game crashes, and it might do, it did on me, don't worry about it. Just exit out of the emulator using the escape key, make it run up again, and the values, the addresses rather, will still continue to work, even though you've technically exited the emulator. It's really good. So a little bit of trial and error might be necessary here, but it should be okay in the whole. Do let me know if you have any issues, anything like that, any other things you want to ask in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching.